The man accidentally discovered that the reason summoners are the strongest class lies in the fact that once they reach a certain level of strength, they can achieve fully automated leveling. He only needs to regularly send his summoned beasts to monster-infested areas for unattended grinding. Even if he stays at home, he can still gain experience because he can share vision with his summoned beasts. If anything unexpected happens, he can adjust at any time, and his leveling efficiency is 60 to 70 times higher than others. If he hadn't chosen Hell difficulty, he could easily overpower others with level alone. But because of the difficulty setting, he often runs into unexpected trouble. And on this very day, a B-rank monster suddenly attacked the town. In this world, B rank is a major threshold for monsters. They are worlds apart from C rank. No one in town could handle it. Unfortunately, the Night Order happened to be away, and as the town's only designated hunter, he was ordered by the Lord to stand at the front line. But of course, he wasn't going to run off to die. Although he could crush C rank monsters, he knew his limits very well, so the best option was to lure it away. At the very least, escaping wouldn't be a problem, because a summoner's identity is not easy to reveal, since this world originally didn't have such a class. So his top priority was to get far away from the town. To be safe, he allocated all the blessings from his summoned beasts into speed and defense. Only when the town was completely out of sight did he consider testing the strength of a B-rank monster. The scale powder released by the butterfly among his pets had so far only been tested on C-rank monsters. It had a 67% chance of putting them to sleep, but when facing a B-rank monster, he discovered it had absolutely no effect. At first, he thought it was just bad luck, but after summoning more butterflies, the worst outcome was confirmed. His previously unstoppable tool had failed, so he changed his mind and ran again. He kept running for an entire day, and the monster kept chasing him the whole time. He finally found a dead-end terrain and managed to shake it off. At least, that's what he thought, because just as he planned to return the way he came, that escape lasted 3 days and 3 nights. By the time he returned to town, he had lost all his strength and collapsed unconscious. When he woke up again, it was already the next day. The young lady and the butler had been waiting by his side. Both wanted to know how he survived, because the existence of summoned beasts must not be known. He omitted many thrilling details and blamed everything on luck. The Lord didn't doubt him after hearing the story, because he had protected the entire town. So the Lord generously waved his hand and rewarded him with 6 or 7 gold coins, which happened to be exactly what he needed most. With money, he could finally upgrade his equipment. His explanation worked fine for the non-combat savvy Lord, but the Knight Commander wasn't so easily fooled. Escaping from a B-rank monster couldn't possibly be that simple, but he didn't expose him. With the gold coins from the Lord, the first thing Jack did was buy a mithril longsword. With this weapon, his attack power increased dramatically. For example, the armored ants he previously couldn't penetrate. Now he only needed a light slash to extract the magic stone inside. Another year passed in the blink of an eye. The Lord's eldest son returned from the academy once again, and the first thing he did was challenge Jack to another match. But to his disappointment, Jack's strength hadn't improved much, but more accurately, it was the eldest son who had grown stronger. Although his class was only the weakest 1-star swordsman, far inferior to an 8-star summoner, because Jack had chosen Hell difficulty, his leveling speed was only 1% of a normal person's, which also meant, conversely, normal people leveled 100 times faster than he did, so it was purely a matter of level suppression. It could only be said that in the unseen year, the eldest son's level had surpassed his by even more. But when heard about Jack escaping from a B-rank monster, the eldest son was utterly shocked. As a top student at the academy, he knew very well how powerful a B-rank monster was. Even he, as he was now, wouldn't be its match. Before he could ask for details, a major event suddenly occurred. The White Dragon in the White Dragon Mountains had moved. The so-called White Dragon was an A-rank monster. To this day, no one had ever been its match, because the place it inhabited contained vast amounts of valuable mithril ore, and whenever it left, it usually stayed away for 100 years. This was an enormous opportunity for the Lord. It could make their territory rich overnight, but mining couldn't begin immediately. To ensure safety, they first had to clear the monsters around the mining area. That would take at least 6 or 7 months. Jack heard all of this, but to him, it wasn't good news, because with fewer monsters nearby, his experience gain would also decrease. To avoid losing too much experience to others, he pondered how he could act faster than the Night Order, and coincidentally, on this very day, he finally leveled his summoning skill to level 5. With each level gained, he would obtain a new skill, and be able to summon higher-ranked beasts. Without rushing to test the strength of D-rank summons, he decided to first try out the effects of the newly acquired shared skill, and whether it could improve his leveling efficiency. And just as he understood, the so-called sharing allowed him to share vision and hearing with his summoned beasts, with no distance limit at all. The summoned beasts could move according to his thoughts, and even their skills could be shared. Hawkeye allowed him to see insects hundreds of meters away. Of course, sharing had its limits. After testing, he found he could currently share with up to 5 summoned beasts. Exceeding that limit caused headaches, and if he wanted to increase the number further, he had to raise his intelligence stat. Every 200 points allowed him to share with 1 more beast. It was then that he realized why summoners had such an absurdly high S-rank intelligence talent. Now that talent finally had a place to shine. Next was testing the D-rank summoned beasts. There were 6 or 7 in total, each providing him with different blessings. But more important than the blessings was that once the summoned beasts reached D-rank, he could basically walk sideways through this forest. With enhancement skills, he could further boost their stats to C-rank. As long as no B-rank appeared, he was the king of this place. As the summoned beasts grew stronger, he suddenly realized realized he himself seemed unnecessary, because the summoned beasts alone could defeat monsters. So what did they need him for? And all he needed to do was put them on autogrind, achieving fully automated leveling. If anything unexpected happened, he could share vision at any time. If a beast died, he could simply resummon it. In this way, his leveling efficiency increased dramatically. As for the 6 summoned beasts' special abilities, 3 were offensive or support types. The owl had night vision, clearly useful for detecting enemies at night. Potato's special ability was producing fruit, which restored the master's mana when eaten. And the fish-shaped summon used water splash, which increased the entire team's evasion rate. It looked silly, but it was actually the smartest one, and its blessing specialized in intelligence. With it, Jack's sharing limit increased to 8 beasts. After sending all of them out for unattended grinding, he suddenly had a bold idea. Because sharing had no distance limit, it meant he could check on his hometown anytime. And the first time he tried it, he saw his childhood friend sparring with the blacksmith's son. He couldn't help feeling nostalgic. Then he found his father working in the fields. His father didn't realize it was him, but noticed the creature was unusual. His mother was tying the hair of a 6 or 7-year-old girl. Jack didn't go over to disturb them. Instead, before leaving, he placed a gold coin on the window.